All right, so today's mobility, we're gonna be working on a lat scrub, is what we're gonna call it. And the reason we're working on this is that our lats get tight. We do a lot of pulling from overhead, pulling in ring rows. These muscles get really, really tight. And when they're tight, we can't raise our arms up overhead. So our overhead position isn't as good. Our arms get stuck out here instead of pulled back. And then it also limits our ability to raise our elbows in our front rack position. So by loosening up these tissues, we can improve both of those positions. So if you're in the gym, you can use a foam roller. You can do the same thing at home if you don't have a foam roller, but roll up a towel really tightly. So I'm just gonna demonstrate with one because it's done the same way with both items. So we'll use the towel, lay it here on the side, and then I'm gonna lay down on top of it. And I'm gonna start, so the lat muscles, they taper and they get narrower as they kind of attach to the ribs. So I'm gonna start right at the bottom of that soft tissue, not on my ribs, but where there's a little bit of meat, like a good steak. Now, since we want to mobilize in our position of restriction, if that position of restriction is that overhead position, right, that's the one that's restricted, we want to get that best overhead position as possible. So I'm going to raise my arm up over my head, pull it way back, and my palm to the ceiling, and then I'm just going to scrub side to side. I can do this just straight laterally, going back and forth, or I can add a little bit of roll to my torso. So I can roll forward and scrub, and then roll back and scrub back and roll over and kind of add a little, and that adds, instead of just the scrubbing, it adds some rolling and some shear on those tissues. It helps loosen them up. I'll do that a little bit. Then I'm going to move the roller up a little bit more and do the same thing and repeat back and forth all the way up into my armpit, trying to loosen those tissues up as much as possible. I'm going to spend 2 minutes on each side. So that might be starting at the bottom, working your way up into the armpit, and then working your way back down. But however, you want to work through that full length of the lat for 2 minutes on both sides.